This is Radio Now 95.3 FM. Come for the news, stay for informed conversations.
Welcome to News Extra on Now Breakfast. I'm Nabila Usman. My co-host is Stephen Imediegwu. And on News Extra today, the United Nations Population Fund in Nigeria says our country, quote, sees violence against women, which is evident in many forms, including domestic, verbal and physical abuse, rape and sexual assault, early and forced marriages, incest, female genital cutting, acid baths and outright killing. Data from the UNFPA shows that the South has the highest number of women who have experienced physical violence from age 15, followed closely by the North Central and the Northeast. And still with these damning figures, Nigeria has the third highest number of child brides in the world and ranks 11th in countries with the highest number of child marriages globally. This is but a fraction of the troubles that women and girls face in their homes and communities. On News Extra today, we take stock of Nigeria's fight against sexual and gender-based violence. Our guest is Dr. Eunice Emmanuel, president of the Young African Women Congress Network, Nigeria. Welcome to the conversation, Dr. Emmanuel.
Thank you very much. Good morning, everyone.
It's a pleasure to have you on. Starting off, these figures from the UNFPA are damning. I wonder where we're seeing some of the greatest increases or rises in terms of SGBV in the country.
Okay, gender-based violence, it's a complex and a very deeply troubling issue in Nigeria. And statistics has revealed that some certain regions have been identified as high rates of reported incidents, such as Lagos, Kano, Rivers State, Kaduna. And this is due to the fact that factor as the population density and also social dynamics. And also, urbanization has also contributed to this. It's a very terrible and deeply troubling situation that has arisen in different states across Nigeria.
If I may, it's a curious thing that you say urbanization has led to some of these increases, because one would think that the more urban a country or a state gets, the more enlightened the people get as well. What are the troubles that are causing these increases?
Oh, one of the challenges that we face is lack of proper awareness and education. The more the city or community grow, the more they ought to be informed about awareness about gender-based violence. The more the population of male and the more the population of female without proper education, it causes a lot of social ills in the society. For instance, imagine in Kano, we have the issue of the 4-year-old child that was raped by an adult. It's such a barbaric act for an adult to rape a 4-year-old child, or maybe because he's not aware of the implication. He's not aware of the legal implication of such acts. In the situation whereby we have solid law enforcement and it's properly channeled to the community, to the people, that if you engage in such social ills, this is the consequences. It will in a way curb such acts, such practices. You understand? So if there is a way we can push him for more advocacy campaign, push him for more education, we promote gender equality in the society, it will really help to reduce gender-based violence. Right. It will help a lot. Yeah.
Dr. Emmanuel, I'm aware that you're doing a campaign on female genital mutilation. I guess this weekend as well. It's not the first time that you're doing this. What has been What have you noticed in the past campaigns? How effective have they been when it comes to bringing awareness to these issues?
Thank you very much. We Young African Women Congress Network is a women-based organization that promotes women issues. We support women in leadership, in business, in advocacy, in politics. But one of the uh, programs or advocacy programs we run is particularly for gender-based violence, which we focus this year on female genital mutilization. You know, in I think it's actually a human rights violation act for a mother to carry her daughter to cut her genitals. And majority of this act is because they are not aware. A mother will not on a normal in her right senses take her child to a traditionalist to cut her genitals. Is because this has been a misconception or a mindset or a traditional right or a belief that they have that a child has to be cut. It's actually disheartening. It's disheartening, and this usually have a psychological and emotional effect on the child. If it doesn't have it immediately, it will have in the future. So we try as much as possible as a women organization to campaign against this. We have this campaign running for 20 days in about 18 African countries.
Doctor,
And it's a 20-day campaign.
if I may, Doctor, and I'm glad that you've mentioned that there are other African countries in the mix here. It's a curious thing because FGM is something that other cultures do practice as well. And we've even seen instances where African migrants would move to the Western world and still go through or take their children back to Africa, bring them back for this, in quotes, I don't know whether I would call it a rite or a ritual. So the traditional aspect of this is still very much ingrained. Speak to us on what the arguments are, what sort of arguments they make for in support of FGM. And I'm hoping that you will do this just so that we fully understand where these people are coming from so we know how to solve the problem.
Thank you very much. UN suggests that 94% of females in Kenya, they undergo this FGM, female genital mutilization. This is scary. Imagine 94% of female, and I think this is very important. Like I said earlier, it's because we have a weak legal framework and a weak sensitization program. It is high time for us as CSOs, civil society organization, to work with government agencies and community to educate our traditional rulers, to educate our religious rulers, and sensitize them of the damages this have on the children, on the girl child, and on women. It's high time for us to have more sensitization awareness and also have a support system. If we have a support system where people that are going through such violation run to, you counsel them, you tell them, it will help us to curb this social ill. It will help.
Dr. Emmanuel,
Imagine, yes, sir.
States like Lagos have an active agency that focuses on tackling sexual and gender-based violence. They've been very successful. They have continuous events, continuous announcements of the successes that they record. If we have the sexual and gender-based violence agencies available in other states across Nigeria, would that improve the fight against these dastardly acts?
It would definitely improve. You know, as an organization, we are focused on creating more awareness, like having representative in all the states. You know, Lagos State has done so well. We have the case of someone that was raped some a lady and was sentenced to life imprisonment. You know, by the time you have a thought that you want to rape someone and you know the consequences, it will put you on a check.
Mm.
You know, it will put you on a check. So if we have other states enforcing such law, it will definitely reduce this demonic acts to the minimum. It will definitely. Now we're trying to see how we can sensitize. The 20 days we go around the nation, sensitizing and creating more awareness. You know, we need to adopt a strict approach that will address this underlying social norm. You know, that will it's a kind of a systematic barrier.
Mm.
You know, you will be afraid. You know, afraid to leave your child with a cousin, a male cousin. You are afraid to leave your child, your daughter, with a neighbor. It doesn't really happen as such in the Western world. You know, but if these laws are being strict laws are being enforced, and it's all everywhere in the media, on the TV, everywhere you turn to, that if you do this is the consequence. It will definitely reduce it to the minimum.
Mm.
It will put a check all over Nigeria, and we are trying to make use of this our 20 days campaign to push out the message, pass out the message out there. Every girl child life counts. Every girl child life, our voice is our right. You shouldn't deprive her of her life. Every girl child life counts. And I believe after the 20 days advocacy campaign, we will be able to achieve so much by passing the right message to the public.
Dr. Emmanuel, thank you very much for speaking with us this morning. Our guest on News Extra is Dr. Eunice Emmanuel. She is the president of an organization that's very, very focused on ensuring that African women have a voice. She leads the Young Africa Women Congress Network, Nigeria. That is News Extra today on Now Breakfast. We ask that you stay tuned. The conversation switches to the news headlines on the news review in just a moment. Do stay with us.
This is Radio Now 95.3 FM. Come for the news, stay for informed conversations.